circle. Sean Hall, Tony Crest, and Jerry Heater are officials. The ball up in the air, we're underway. Hope those leftovers were just as good as what they were yesterday. And here for dessert, some basketball on a Friday night. Dayton in the home whites. It's Youngstown State in the road red. Javon Bennett from distance. Book it.
And it looked like Youngstown State is in a sort of a zone, and they're going to play a little bit of both. You'll see a little bit of man-to-man. You'll see a little bit of zone. And the best thing to do against either of them, touch the paint.
We're highlighting turnovers as Bennett here works baseline defensively. Checking Ziggy Reed. We'll talk about that connection a little bit later on as two transfers from Merrimack College. But here's DJ Burns. He'll kick. Thompson getting the start tonight, and he bangs a triple.
Yeah, and when on that closeout, Santos has to come out with a high hand to at least contest the shot. You can't come down there, as our friends in the NBA say, hand down, man down.
So both teams starting with the three as we've played a minute. Enoch Cheeks working his way in the lane. Bennett back with his hands on the basketball. He was fantastic against LSU last week in that comeback victory against the Tigers. Cheeks wants a three. He's got one.
Yeah, and that's Youngstown State's zone again. As you get below the level of the defense, you can then play really outside in.
Got a whistle and a travel as a turnover. And that pressure from Dayton, that's a big reason they got back into that LSU game. And Dayton turning the Penguins over as you see Thompson on the make. In both these teams filling it up from distance here early.
Yeah, it's a lot of three-pointers. I'd love to see both teams continue to go inside and then play outside, especially down here. Now Youngstown State's back in their man-to-man. And you should be able to isolate this matchup all day long.
Deron Holmes rocking the rim. And Dayton has scored on each trip on the offensive end. Thompson trying to break this pressure. Just gets it off the timeline. Now he'll work his way to the hoop. Gets deep in the paint. Cut off. Find the cutter and Langdon. 10 seconds on the shot clock. And Bryson LANGDON from straight on.
And I think the Flyers can live with that. You know, their pressure defense allows them to play with a 20-second shot clock as opposed to the 30. And then you're winding them down under 9 off of the bounce. 3, I think they can live with that long term.
Bennett. Screen from Holmes. Floater. Unable to get the roll and the rebound. There's DJ Burns.
You'll see him initiate the break on missed shots for them.
Ziggy Reed. And it's so interesting, Eric. In Reed, a transfer from Merrimack. Javon Bennett, a transfer from Merrimack. And both of them having sensational seasons a year ago for the Warriors. Meeting up here in the 9-3-7 a year later. Kobe Elvis trying to knock one in from distance, in and out. And Youngstown State playing quickly. This is Brandon Rush, and that's what he does best.
And they're playing a lot faster. That's back-to-back possessions that the Flyers are yet to locate all players in their defensive scramble. Doesn't matter who has who in a scramble. You have to have the ball accounted for.
Enoch Cheeks missed one from in close on a great cut. The three-point line, that's what we're watching here early. As Youngstown State, they have not missed from the field. And Ziggy Reed's got one from in close. And an early lead here for the Penguins.
Yeah, and the pace of play right now is favoring Youngstown State. The Flyers need better shots and or better transition defense because a bad shot is the first thing that they can do in their transition.
Nate Santos' pass gets deflected out of bounds, and here comes Kobe Brea, the first change this evening. And Anthony Grant's group trying to figure out this group from the other side of the state. Youngstown State making the travel, and like mentioned, it's been a long time since they've been in here, and this is the 10th meeting between both schools. Dayton leading 5-4 in the series. Penguins on an 11-0 run. Deron Holmes working his way to the hoop. Missed it. Dayton having some issues from right in front of the rim.
But a better job there, kind of what you can say is build walls. So the ball handler is trying to initiate that break, and you've got all people kind of surrounding him and eliminate that initial push, force a contested 3 now.
First miss of the game for the Penguins. It came from Burns on the triple try, and Got a whistle and a hold and a foul, and it's on Burns. We're off and running. Friday night, let's score some points. How about it? And Javon Bennett from downtown, but the Penguins and Brett Thompson returning the favor. This group from the Horizon League on top by 6 early.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
It's here. Save on Black Friday deals now at Target. Don't miss the last phase to save on Black Friday deals. Hurry, these Black Friday deals end Saturday, only at Target.
Of course, the GMC Terrain offers all-wheel drive mode. What about Supernova mode or Weekend Warrior mode? You don't see that everyday mode. How about out of the office mode or even
Are you out of your mind?
mode? Want a mode for everything? GMC Terrain. Just announced. Get 1.9% APR on 2024 Terrain models. Plus, no monthly payments until 2024.
The Subway series.
It's the perfect menu lineup. Just give us a number, we got the rest.
Number 3.
The Monster.
6.
The Boss.
15.
Titan Turkey.
Number 1.
The Philly. Oh, yeah, you probably don't want that one. Look, I'm not in charge of naming the subs.
The Subway series is getting an upgrade. The new number 33, the Teriyaki Blitz with double cheese and teriyaki marinated meat.
It's like a perfect steak spiral in the double cheese coverage.
If you say so, Peyton. Who knew the Subway series could get even better?
The Dayton Flyers and the Youngstown State Penguins on this 24th day in November. Anthony Grant in the huddle right now, and electric start. Trying to figure out how to stop this group from Northeast Ohio. He's in his 7th season, and well, on the other end of the floor, another man in his 7th year at the home at his respected school, and that being Jared Calhoun, a former Cincinnati grad, started D2 level at Fairmont State, but a win tonight, be win number 100, and it would be a really special one for Coach.
Especially being a Cincinnati guy, you know, this is right up the road or right down the road from where he's at now. It'd be nothing sweeter than to get this one and really continue the momentum they've been playing with. We talked before we got on, it's been kind of a choppy start to the season. If you look at their who they've played, they have had a lot of non-Division I opponents. So to be able to get kind of this rhythm and this momentum going would be great for them.
Well, it's been the perfect start, near perfect, as they are 5 of 6 from the field, 4 of 5 from distance. Here's Javon Bennett late in the shot clock. Floater, no, but Deron Holmes was there. He got stripped, though. It looked like it was going to be a dunk. Not the case. E.J. Farmer's got the basketball. He just checked in. And a transfer from Toledo gives way to Langdon. Transfer from NKU. Guarded by Bennett. Throws in the corner. This is a freshman. And 7'3", Gabe Dines. Out of Independence, Kentucky. Airballs the 3. Kobe Brea wants one. And it's off the back rim. Loose ball. And Santos on the floor. Getting Dayton an extra possession. Here's Holmes. Erased the basket. He was fouled on the floor. It's a good foul on Dines.
Yeah, and I love the energy to dive on the floor. It's always first to the floor, kind of it sets the tone for the rest of the way. That's a little bit of kind of that momentum that the Flyers need to start playing with. Get stops, dive on the floor for loose balls, get second possessions.
Deron Holmes will go off. Isaac Jack comes on. You see Nate Santos there. He had a great weekend in Charleston. Isaac Jack the same. He is coming off his best game as a Flyer. Was 4 for 4 from the field. 8 points against Houston. Brea, ball fake, and a spray one. Left it short. And the rebound to Youngstown State.
Yeah, I'd like for him to after that ball fake, you know, you got the guy in the air, you had to swipe from the wing. Make the extra pass.
Youngstown State on an 11-0 run. Flyers have not scored in the last 3.5 minutes. Tough 2 there from Langdon. Some good defense by Bennett. Here he is with the bounce. He'll let one go. 2 for 2, Javon Bennett. from downtown.
And that's a good pace that the Flyers are playing with. Great space, and that early kind of step-up screen kind of can really get into the paint. That time, great pull-up defense or pull-up jump shot because the defense was unaware.
Zicky Reed going to work his way in the lane. Hook shot short. So Dayton a score and a stop. Santos going downhill. Jump stop, pull up. Rims off.
But the pace is exactly what the Flyers need to be doing. Get stops down here, rebound, and just push the ball down the court.
They played over 6 minutes. And Youngstown State came out firing. Still with a 3-point lead. Brent Thompson averaging 6 points, 3 rebounds a game. Gives to Langdon, gets it back. Thompson, late in the shot clock. Long 2, in and out.
And that's a great job by the Flyers, limiting them to 1 shot on now 3 straight possessions. Great job on the glass.
Bennett giving it to Santos. Brea, who had just some kind of operation in the offseason. His cheeks now found. And both teams going to be making the change. For Dayton, they'll bring in Zimu Okeji and Kobe Elvis. And for Youngstown State, Burns returns with Rush. And for the first time, number 22, John Lovelace Jr. He is one of the 3 returners for Youngstown State's Horizon League regular season championship a year ago.
Looks like Youngstown State's back in their zone defense that they kind of started the game with.
Bennett, a screen from Jack. Breo is looking inside, just 5 to shoot here. Terrific in and out dribble, and Bennett's at the hoop.
Yeah, it's crafty, especially against that zone. It doesn't look like that traditional zone. They're passing off cutters, and they're switching ball screens at times. So it's a pseudo man-to-man, but it's definitely a zone defense because they have zone responsibilities.
Dayton cuts the lead to 1. Javon Bennett, 8 points here early to lead the Flyers. Farmer finds Langdon. This is Rush, 3-pointer off the front rim. Fight for the rebound, Isaac Jack. Big body and a transfer from Buffalo. Elvis working on Lovelace, got in the paint, and he's called for steps and a turnover. And honestly, that's something he's been really good of late. His assisted turnover numbers, they're outstanding.
Yeah, he's been at times he's had to be the backup point guard to spell Bennett with Malachi Smith's injury.
Penguins still holding on to a 1-point lead, but Youngstown State has missed their last 6 field goals. Rush going to try and change that, and he was fouled going up. And that'll take us to break. That'll be Brandon Rush at the free throw line when we return. Flyers and Penguins on a Friday night. Yeah, we can do that.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves by flavor.
Here they come. All right, give it to me.
Okay, I want a quarter pounder with cheese and no onions.
6-piece McNuggets.
And extra pickles. And can I get medium fries? Oh, an Oreo McFlurry.
Make that too.
Okay, 2 McFlurries.
When everyone wants something special, order ahead in the app to save time.
It's here. Black Friday week is live at Target.
But if they knew what you were working on, they'd get it. It's not just about your GPA. It's about finding your purpose and making a difference. At the University of Dayton, we don't just fly, we soar.
Welcome back to UD Arena. The Flyers back at home, but they trail as Youngstown State on top, 14-13. Dayton last weekend at the Charleston Classic. And Eric, you see the scores there. That Houston team, number 6 in the country, but I thought it was a really good weekend for this squad for the 937.
Yeah, and the Flyer faithful showed up too, but more importantly for this Dayton Flyers basketball team is a win against an SEC caliber opponent that will pay dividends come March. A win against your Big East rival as well in St. John's. Those pay dividends in the long run. You just got to be able to take care of your business here against Youngstown State.
And that guy was really good during the tournament and named to the all-tournament team. And those numbers, 68% from the field, 64% from three. It's no wonder why he was Atlantic 10 Player of the Week.
Yeah, and what the numbers really should say is 71% from two-point field goal percentage on top of the 67% from three. That's where he was elite, both inside and outside that three-point arc.
And a game winner against LSU. It was a special couple of days for Nate Santos and the Dayton Flyers. Meanwhile, here, Brandon Rush, that is the first basket in 4+ minutes, close to 5 minutes. Actually, Youngstown State didn't score in between those two media timeouts. Kobe Brea is going to try and tie this game. Yes.
And that's a good press attack as you get the ball to the middle, and then the middle has so many great options to spread the court out once you get there. And here are the Flyers on the floor.
Defense. Enoch Cheeks with the steal. Zimi Wokeji trying to save it, gave it right back. I don't think Coach Grant's going to mind that turnover. And here from distance, Burns missing. And now the evens kind of, now I should say the shooting kind of evening out as we saw Youngstown State. That first 4 minutes, they were outstanding. Now there's almost a lid on that basket.
Yeah, and give the Flyers a lot of credit. They're doing the job on the offensive end, is allowing their defense to get set. They're not playing in transition like they were early on in the game.
Kobe Elvis missing on the jumper. Langdon back the other way. Lovelace off the mark.
Yeah, and if you're the Flyers, you're out there thinking they've missed 2 in a row.
Isaac Jack.
For the Flyers,
two-hand jam in transition.
Yeah, the transition defense has to clean up for the Flyers because they are 0 for their last 2, Youngstown State. They're still wide open three-point shots. You got to clean up this transition defense.
So Dayton able to grab the lead. And Youngstown State now over 6 minutes without a field goal. They needed it. Brandon Rush on cue, his second three-pointer.
And that's a great set play that coach called. It's kind of that double stagger away. And Jack at the top has to kind of show and be kind of that help man on the top of that stagger.
Kobe Elvis finding Enoch Cheeks. He knows a little something about Youngstown State. Transfer from Robert Morris, playing in the Horizon League. His first year at UD. Elvis wants a three. It's long. Rebound. Oh, that's a heads-up play. Brandon Rush able to throw it off Brea. And Youngstown State will bring back on Ziggy Reed and Brett Thompson. For Rush, this is amazing. He has got 210 three-pointers in his career. And, well, the coaches, obviously they like the threes, but they probably like that hustle play even better.
But that is a lot of threes. That's more than both of us have combined.
Well, yeah, he had 77 a year ago, and it was a historic season for the Penguins. 24-10, regular season champs in the Horizon League, and an appearance in the NIT as they fell to Oklahoma State. Here we got a clock issue, as this is going to be Youngstown State basketball. But they're trying to reset the shot clock.
But this is also good. These stops, although the Flyers don't score on it, they're able to set their press attack a little bit right now, which has been really successful from a defensive standpoint to kind of speed them up a little bit, but you got to still guard your yard in the half court.
So we're back to basketball. Thompson looking for some help. Long pass, able to find Reed. Throws in the corner, Rush. Another one.
That's just really good offense. That long skip pass.
Brandon Rush, a little bit of a slow start to the season. He's averaging over 13, which is solid, but from a shooting standpoint, hasn't been necessarily what he was hoping for. But right now, he has been locked in. And another hustle play from Youngstown State, as this time it's E.J. Farmer getting on the ground and calling timeout to keep the possession.
And that's as much credit as we give all the players. It's always the first on the floor. You'll see it here. Who's the first guy on the floor? He gets his nose in there, and then it's just scrappy here.
Well, and there, just heads up, right? Just understanding first half, we got timeouts. I'm going to use one and keep this possession and try and keep this 6-0 run going. As Jared Calhoun, obviously we saw the atmosphere at the start, the environment. His team has been playing at home. He's got to love how his groups responded here tonight.
Maybe even from a coaching perspective, he's got to love the way his team is shooting tonight. I mean, he's 60% from three right now. There's not a whole lot of diversity with their shot selection right now. 10 of their 15 shots are actually from three right now. So it'd be nice to kind of work that inside out as available. But again, if the shots are open, you got to take them.
Mentioned Coach Calhoun, what they were able to do a year ago, but this is practically a brand new team. They got 12 newcomers on this roster, this being one of them. Brett Thompson trying to shake Javon Bennett. And a nice rebound there by Nate Santos. See if the Flyers can get number 2 involved on offense. Santos has been quiet here at the start. Brea. Bennett, leading scorer for UD. 6 on the shot clock. Enoch Cheeks. Pull-up jumper. No. And a rebound to DJ Burns. Ziggy Reed finding Thompson. He's got some room and cashes in a 3.
It's that transition defense again. You have to have all 5 guys accounted for. And the one person that you have to have accounted for is the guy with the ball. And the Flyers are yet to really clean up their transition defense. They were playing with fire, missing a couple threes. But open shots long term is a bad recipe.
Youngstown State up by 7. Here we got a whistle and a foul. That's going to be against DJ Burns. That's his second. And it's a 9-0 run for Youngstown State, but they're going to be without their top rebounder as he heads off. And coming on will be 7-foot Emmanuel Zorgful from Suriname.
Youngstown State has to have one of the biggest rosters in college basketball. 2 7-footers.
7'3", 7 foot. Here's Holmes meeting that 7-footer right at the rim. Terrific block by Zorgville. So the Penguins, after shooting a high percentage at the start, things cooled off, but now they're heating up again. Ziggy Reed from downtown.
Yeah, Flyers got to do a little bit better job staying attached in the half court. Transition defense, find all, account for all. Half court, you got to stay attached to your guy as he comes off his screens.
Youngstown State right now, 8 of 12 from 3. That'll get it done on the road. Flyers down by double digits. Largest deficit of the night. Kobe Brea from way out. Nylon.
That's a really good rhythm 3. Although contested against that zone, you know, you get them into a couple rotations. Those are good shots long term.
Shooting 42% from 3 on the year. E.J. Farmer going down Broadway with a left-hand hammer.
Again, Flyers have to do a better job containing them in transition. That's still a transition basket, although it's a little of a delayed break. All guys have to be accounted for, and then you have to guard your yard.
Farmer had started the first 4 games for the Penguins. Javon Bennett missing on the 3.
And as friendly as a three-pointer has been for the Flyers most of the day, I'd love to see them work inside out, or at least against that zone. You've got to ball screen it and get it below the first level of defense.
It's a 14-3 run by Youngstown State. Bennett forcing Thompson left, and he fouled him. A foul against Javon, his first. And that'll take us to break. Youngstown State filling it up here early. Isaac Jack with the dunk. But so far, it's been the Penguins from downtown.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Race time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves my flavor.
It's here. Save on Black Friday deals now at Target. Don't miss the last days to save on Black Friday deals. Hurry, these Black Friday deals end Saturday, only at Target.
Of course, the GMC Terrain offers all-wheel drive mode. What about Supernova mode or Weekend Warrior mode? You don't see that everyday mode. How about out of the office mode or even
Are you out of your mind?
mode? Want a mode for everything? GMC Terrain. Just announced. Get 1.9% APR on 2024 Terrain models. Plus, no monthly payments until 2024.
I win everything. Nobody beat me.
Your mother is good.
So am I. You don't decide, but I'm done.
My team wins.
You want to know what it takes to be great? The secret is how you recover. When active recovery is part of your game, you're thinking about your whole game. Activate your recovery with UFOs.
Marketplace health plans are reliable and...
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Race time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves my flavor.
P leads the performance team of Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. With a winning offensive line, Performance is your hometown team with 2 locations at the Auto Mall and Up 23 in Delaware. Get your new 24 Jeep at Performance during the Black Friday sales event.
Special deals, or you're doing some shopping, but here we are with basketball as it returns to UD Arena, and the Youngstown State Penguins, who came into this game shooting just 28% from 3. Eric, it is a different story tonight.
And the 12 of their 19 shots are from 3. 8 of their 10 field goals that they've made are from 3. If you're the Dayton Flyers in these timeouts, all you have to do is tell, this is uncharacteristic of the Penguins, just make sure we've got a hand up on all shots.
They're being led by this man, Brandon Rush, with 11. He'll give to Farmer, spin in the lane. Isaac Jack got his hands on that basketball, but it will stay with the Penguins with 10 seconds here to shoot on the shot clock.
And here, these are kind of like, football was yesterday all day. These are the special teams right here. These plays, these baseline out of bounds are super critical to make sure you've got them scouted properly. And here the Flyers look to be really in sync.
Rush across the lane. Jack again. He might have altered that shot. Dayton's got numbers the other way. Santos wants a three-pointer. In and out. That was halfway down. Brea, though, an extra possession here for the Flyers. Elvis probing, finds Jack. It was erased at the rim, but with the body was Ziggy Reed, and Isaac Jack will be at the line shooting 2.
And I love the second chance opportunities that the Flyers are now with this lineup with Santos and Jack, and Brea has been mixing up too. These 3 this should be a really good offensive rebounding team.
Out of British Columbia, neighbor to the north, and started his career at Buffalo in the MAC. Finds a home here at UD, and he's a guy that started on the ice. He's a hockey player. And his mom said, "No, wait a second, hold on." She was apparently a pretty good basketball player, but he has found his game on the hardwood.
Yeah, and I love his motor. He's a great spell for the All-American Deron Holmes, but he does so many other small little things for this team that he's a glue guy.
Knocks in both free throws there. His first free throws of the season. Jack 4 points off the bench. This is a Youngstown State team that got 40 points off their bench in their last game against Lake Erie. A miss from Thompson. Long board came to Brea. Elvis into the front court. Kobe Brea, you can't leave this guy. No, no, no.
And that's that secondary break that the Flyers have been really good at. It's not that initial push to the rim. And there we are on the floor for a loose ball again.
We got a timeout. Youngstown State, Javon Bennett. He can guard as Dayton, a three-pointer and then applying pressure. And the Penguins will burn a timeout. Kobe Brea, what a story, Eric. This is a young man that had surgery on both of his legs and 2 rods put in, left, right. Was not able to walk at times in a wheelchair this summer, and he's worked his way back. First off, the pain that he was able to play through a year ago, but when he's healthy, he is an elite shooter.
Elite shooters, right. And all that repetition, you know, even if you can't be getting those game reps over the summer while you're in a wheelchair, it's that form shooting. Kobe Bryant used to sit in the gym. The first shot he would ever take is right around about 3 feet from the basket. It was form shooting. It's form shooting. And you can see now 3 for 5 on the day. He has found his form here from the three-point line for the Flyers.
He's 3 for 5 from distance here tonight, leading Dayton with 9 points. Go along with 4 rebounds.
Yeah, and he got that 1 offensive rebound. So again, this lineup that the Flyers are playing with, we've seen it once already. This is a really good offensive rebounding team, but you've also got 2 point guards on the court. I'm really interested to see how this continues.
Langdon able to deal with that Dayton pressure. Here's DJ Burns. He's playing with 2 fouls. He's got to be careful out there. One of the top scorers and the top rebounder for the Penguins. And there, Youngstown State, late in the shot clock, they're going to get bailed out on a foul. And this will be 3 free throws from Bryson LANGDON. And Isaac Jack getting switched on a guard. And LANGDON, see if he can cash in.
Yeah, and you're going to live with that. Well, maybe not foul, but you're going to live with switching on the guard. You're at 10 seconds or below on the shot clock. You want to keep everybody in front of you. The one thing you got to do is you got to give them space. As a big guy, you're always taught to give them a step, use your length to your advantage. So that's why you've got to play with a hand up.
LANGDON able to knock in the first. Let's take another look. Oh yeah, that was an easy one for our officials here tonight. And LANGDON mentioned the bench production for Youngstown State. The starters kind of had issues, and LANGDON was a part of it. He was 1 for 10 from the field, but he was able to contribute with 6 assists in the game as they went on to beat Lake Erie 79-57. And returning will be John Lovelace Jr. from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was that bench scoring. He had 29 points in that victory against Lake Erie. Youngstown State on top by 7. Kobe Elvis with 10 to shoot. Getting a screen from Isaac Jack. Will whip it in the corner to Santos. He'll drive, missed the shot, got it back, up and in. And for Santos, that's his 7th rebound.
And what he did a great job is drive that long closeout. If Youngstown State's going to stay in that zone, and as that ball comes back to you, those closeouts get longer, so you have to be able to drive those.
Burns, some penetration. 15 to shoot. Here's Rush. Back to DJ. He'll work on Jack. And he traveled. And the defense.
The defense right there is Bennett. He's in that gap situation, and he gives a slight swipe at the ball. It's almost like a stunt, and he really froze Burns there, and then Jack was able to recover.
Dayton with the basketball when we come back.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor. If you choose curbside when you order ahead in the McDonald's app, you won't have to wait in line when you get here. Genius.
Here you go. Thank you.
Order ahead in the app to save time.
It's here. Black Friday week is live at Target. Don't miss the last days to save on Black Friday deals. These Black Friday deals end Saturday, only at Target.
Of course, the GMC Terrain offers all-wheel drive mode. What about Supernova mode or Weekend Warrior mode? You don't see that everyday mode. How about out of the office mode? Or even...
Are you out of your mind?
Mode. Want a mode for everything? GMC Terrain. Just announced. Get 1.9% APR on 2024 Terrain models. Plus, no monthly payments until 2024.
Dayton Flyers trailing by 5. There you see the player of the week, co-player of the week in the Atlantic 10. Nate Santos, he was our player to watch. And Eric, he just came up with his first field goal. He's still doing it on the glass, but it's not necessarily that Youngstown State's been able to stop him. He just hasn't really been into the offensive flow for the Dayton Flyers.
It's been a very guard-dominant couple possessions for the Flyers. But what we saw in that last possession against this zone defense is the ability to make that next pass and Santos' ability then to drive these closeouts. I'd love to see the Flyers' offensive sets get Santos more in rotation.
It has been a roller coaster ride. As we've had a couple of hot stretches from Youngstown State, we've also seen the Penguins go 6 minutes without scoring, and here they're in a 3-minute drought. They got a whistle away from the ball, and Deron Holmes' second was banging down low, and Manuel Zorgville saying that Zorgville wrapped him up. That's the 6th foul against the Penguins, so we hear another whistle against YSU. Dayton will be at the line shooting the 1-and-1.
And I believe that's where the Flyers can really begin to chip away at this lead that they haven't been able to crack it. But as long as they run good sets, get Youngstown State in rotation, and maybe even get to the line, they can have a lot of success there.
Elvis underneath Holmes, pump fake. And he's fouled again by Zorgville. He'll be at the line shooting 2.
And he got him up, and that's exactly what he does. The scouting report says he's going to go up for every shot fake. You get him up in the air, but then you got to finish that. You got to go up there and you got to punch that and go to line for 3 points instead of now shooting 2. Got to come away with this possession at 3.
The man they call Deuce coming back for his junior year. He entered the draft. A lot of folks felt like he was going to go in the 2nd round, but returns to UD, missing on the free throw here. And Youngstown State go to the bench. They got some big guys in trouble. Burns 2 fouls. Zorgville just picked up his 2nd. Dines returns. And for Holmes, obviously teams are going to key in on 15 and white as Dayton comes up empty on the trip.
And that's where with Santos, what he did down in Charleston, and with the prowess that Deron Holmes has, there's probably not a more formidable front court in the Atlantic 10 and maybe in every game from here on out for the Flyers.
Thompson working his way inside. This is Lovelace. Nice pump fake, and he's able to score with the left hand.
Yeah, and you got to be able to guard your yard. You got to keep Youngstown State out from the paint. What they want to do, kind of contrary to what these stats are going to say, is they want to shoot 2s. They want to play at the rim. If they can shoot the 3s, take the 3s, and make the 3s, they'll take it. But at the core of their offense, they want to touch the paint.
Looked as if Dayton was going to cut the lead to 3, but on the miss. And then the free throws from Holmes here, able to hammer this one. Dayton deficit back to 5.
And that's a good, he kind of peeled away from the block just ever so slightly to kind of create that separation from his defender as Bennett drove the baseline.
Thompson, double team. And give it up to Lovelace, and he was hit by Santos. just the 5th team foul against the Flyers. It's Nate's first on the night.
And there he goes. He kind of peels off of that block just a little bit to create that space so his defender can't recover to it.
Some frustration maybe in that jam. Inbound to Dines. Pick and roll action here with the guard Langdon. 10 on the shot clock. Rush working his way to the hoop. Blocked by Holmes. Here come the Flyers back the other way. Brea gives it to Elvis. And Kobe Elvis going off the glass.
And that's that secondary break that the Flyers have been really, really good at. Keep Youngstown State moving. Don't stop the ball at the top. You got to keep that ball popping.
Now the Flyer fans trying to get involved. Cut it down to 3. Langdon sent away by Holmes, but right to Rush. And he misses on the triple. Ball out of bounds. And it will go to UD.
That's a good defensive possession right there. Would have loved the Flyers to come down with it clean so you can initiate that secondary break. But it's a good defensive stop right there.
Dayton's made their last 3 shots. 1:20 left here in our first half. Holmes finding Brea. We were so close to being tied at 35. But it pops out. And the Penguins going to slow things up. Brett Thompson from Oakland, California, the 5th year. Now Rush puts on the brakes. Missed on the 15-footer rebound. And Elvis was able to poke it to Brea.
Flyers can play for a 2-for-1 here.
Santos wants it. He's got it.
It's a big shot. It's again, Alex, I'm going to beat it in that nauseam, but it's that secondary break. As long as that ball's popping, find the next guy, drive it. Find the next guy, shoot it.
10-second differential. Shot to game clock. Dayton fans on their feet. A 7-0 run for the Flyers. Thompson with 8 to shoot. Cross-court pass intercepted by Kobe Elvis. Long pass. Holmes! My goodness! Some punctuation to end the first half. Look out! DJ Burns kind of following the same lead as the band. Yeah, he's about to bounce. And let's get the second half going. DJ Burns in some foul trouble, playing with 2. Maybe another big reason why Youngstown State had a slide to close out the first. Thompson unable to connect. Youngstown State started this game 4 of 4 from 3. Enoch Cheeks lost it out of bounds. They're saying it was deflected.
But again, there's the Flyers wanting to play with tempo. Get a stop, play with tempo.
Looks like we're about to, sorry, Eric, we've got a spill.
We got a new courtside seats. Get your feet on the floor.
Well, when it comes to getting your feet on the floor, apparently there's also a few beverages that might get on the floor too. All right, I think we got it cleaned up. Your point, I'm sorry.
My point was the Flyers here, these are the special teams that you got to be able to convert off of. 2 points here, 3 points here can make the difference long term.
Dayton trailed most of that first half. Kobe Elvis, a 3.
And that's the delayed set. What they wanted to get Holmes on the cross screen, but because Youngstown State didn't play it properly, you get that pin down action wide open for Kobe Elvis.
Man, I'm sure that feels good for Elvis. He's sort of been struggling from distance. 1 for 3 now from the 3-point arc here tonight. Dayton by 5. And we got a whistle and a foul And this is going against Kobe Elvis.
But it's good help side defense. So when you hold that help line, so put your head underneath the rim, that's holding the help line. As soon as that ball gets there, you're either on it or you can't go at all. So that's great defense by Kobe Elvis.
Langdon throws into Burns. He's had a tough time going here tonight. Some of that due to that foul trouble I was talking about. Got Bennett down low. Cheeks came out of the attic. Erased it, and Youngstown State thought that was goaltending. Meanwhile, we got a charge, and Nate Santos picking up his second foul on the other end.
Great defense leads to great transition. Love the effort. As you said, Cheeks was going up top for it. We'll get a good look here from the up top. I think Youngstown State wanted a goaltending, but great job to turn that into a transition opportunity.
I think that's a good block there by Cheeks.
So did the officials.
Showing off 6 and white, the athleticism. Enoch Cheeks. Mentioned playing against Youngstown State last season in the Horizon League. Enoch Cheeks, interesting enough, played here in the arena for that group just outside of Pittsburgh. Ziggy Reed, another transfer, another score. That is a tough one. He becomes the second Penguin in double figures here tonight. He's got 10.
Yeah, that's a tough shot. I mean, I don't know what else you can do from a defense standpoint. Hey, sometimes nobody's ever scored 0 points, so you gotta give it up for a good offensive shot.
Javon Bennett comes up empty. Missing long on the three-pointer. Langdon finds Thompson. He was looking to tie the game. Instead, it's Dayton by 3 here early in the second half. Elvis crossover move, driving, and the ball deflected. Oh, we got a whistle and a foul.
But that's the Flyers' secondary break that continues to put pressure on the defense. And there, it's kind of a reject of a ball screen in transition. Really tough to deal with, especially on a reject.
Foul on Rush, that's his first. Bennett to lob, or throw in, excuse me. Finds Cheeks, and Dayton will set things up. 10 on the shot clock. Elvis step back 3. Why not?
Feeling it. You see that first one go and you get a little bit more confidence. Take the second one. Let's see if he comes back to something out of his toolkit next time down.
Flyers been efficient from the three-point line. It's a 6-point lead for UD. This is the largest lead for the Flyers. Burns, nice shovel off, and Reed and 1. Fouled by Holmes as he was able to go high off the glass, and that's a big basket for YSU.
It's a really big basket, especially this arena has started to feel like everything just wants to go in the Flyers' way. And when you can get an and 1 acrobatically, you take it any way you can get right now.
So Ziggy Reed out of Baltimore, Maryland, taking his 5th year in Northeast Ohio, misses on the free throw. Long rebound. Elvis unable to save it. Scored over 1,200 points. So Ziggy Reed, he mentioned, all-tournament MVP last year in the NEC.
And here's Youngstown again. You know, you think the momentum's beginning to shift to Dayton. They get and 1, and then they just get this hustle play. Flyers, be careful right now. You're probably talent-wise, you're probably the superior team. You just can't let this team continue to hang around.
Farmer, that ball was blocked by Holmes, and now Youngstown State, they got a point here. Yeah, and they got it right. It's a good bit of officiating. It's clearly sent away by Deron Holmes II. Now the issue is how much time's on the shot clock.
It's probably going to be about 1.6, definitely less than 2.
Boy, that's good. You go 1.6 on the guess, 1.8 for the win.
Time to buy a lottery ticket.
You still got it. Inbounding, Langdon just barely gets it in. Farmer, I don't think he realized where they were at on the shot clock.
Credit the Flyers defense for holding strong off that second chance opportunity.
Coach Calhoun not happy about that turnover. Youngstown State, though, that was a stat. I think both teams, it was a really clean first half.
Yeah, not a whole lot of turnovers.
Right now, 5 for Dayton, 4. Or excuse me, that was the 5th turnover for Youngstown State.
Yeah, both teams not known for turning the ball over. Both right at 10 or 11 a game, so really clean.
Bennett missing on the long 3. Penguins trying to inch closer. Langdon lost it. It's picked up by Deron Holmes. Elvis, a couple of 3-pointers. We'll give this back to the man. That's Deuce. 2 hands, and Deron Holmes hanging on the rim again.
Early touches in the post. That's that delayed break that the Flyers have been really good at today. It's not necessarily going to show up in the box score as a fast break point, but it's a delayed break that they've been really good at today.
Lead back up to 6 for UD. Rush. 3-pointer.
He's a really good ball player. It's that lefty, man. I'm telling you, it's a lefty stroke.
Well, he's got 4 threes in this game, and he's got his average and 14 points.
And just when the Flyers get a little bit of momentum, Deron Holmes dunk. Youngstown State continues to just hang out. And now here's that zone defense again.
Kobe Elvis, his 3rd 3 of the half.
Continues to see that ball go in the bottom of the barrel.
Kobe Elvis, 9 points here in the second half. And I mentioned sort of the issues that he's had from 3. He's now shooting it with a lot of confidence. Things change when you see that ball go through the bucket. Ziggy Reed, quick move, but he missed the reverse. Dayton by 6. Can they add to it? Thought Elvis was going for a heat check.
Still might.
Shaking Reed, and what a crossover. Finishing finger roll with the left hand.
Yeah, this is the pace that the Flyers like to play at.
Kobe Elvis doing his thing here in the second half. It's been a brilliant start. DJ Burns, his team down by 8, gives to Langdon. Another 3.
Another 3. That's a great equalizer in college basketball nowadays. That 3 ball. Again, the momentum. Youngstown State continues to hang out. If they can get a stop at this end and another bucket right before this media, coach has got to feel really good about things.
Nate Santos, high post, Holmes fakes on the jumper, weaving his way through traffic, and he was fouled. He'll be at the line off this media timeout. Penguins and Flyers, Kobe Elvis and Ziggy Reed. Stay with us. Good one on Valley. UD Arena, as I don't think you'd be talking about the Northeast Conference, but the Warriors champions of the NEC, and really the story last year in March Madness was FDU. But what a lot of people don't know is they got beat in their championship game. Ziggy Reed, tournament MVP. All-tournament team was Javon Bennett. Of course, Reed playing for Youngstown State. Bennett playing for Dayton. And Bennett was also NEC Freshman of the Year, but Reed, he had 23 points, 6 rebounds in that championship game, 67-66 final. Javon Bennett, 11 points, played every minute, was the only player to see all 40. And then FDU comes here to the arena, beats Texas Southern. And the reason why Merrimack didn't qualify, because they were making the transition to Division I. And then FDU, not just winning the playing game, they beat number 1 Purdue before losing to Florida Atlantic.
But somebody's got to tell me why you're in probation to play Division I. Clearly, you're good enough to play and win your conference. What are you doing being in probation?
That's been a discussion for the NCAA. And with the football season, of course, James Madison saying the same thing this year. Now, they were finally beaten for the first time by Appalachian State. Meanwhile, we're back here, and Deron Holmes has struggled from the foul line, something that he's been excellent on for this early season. Holmes now 0 for 4 from the stripe. Thompson able to put down Bennett. Dayton wanted a push off. Missing on the jumper. Loose ball grabbed by Santos. It's his 10th rebound. Gives to Holmes. And it's Duran back at the line here to shoot 2.
Love the Flyers' effort on defense. Love the Flyers' effort on the glass right now. And their pace of play is really good. Youngstown St continues to do all the right things, and that's why they're hanging it in and only down by 5 right now, too. Give them a ton of credit. They're making shots, not turning the ball over. Now they just got to keep the Flyers off the line.
Holmes came into the game shooting 82% from the foul line. But like mentioned, not made one here tonight. That changes, though.
And with another free throw, he'll get his 10th point of the night. We need to see him maybe rebound a little bit better right now.
Yeah, just one board for Duran, and he'll knock in the second free throw and get a break as Isaac Jack returns.
And I think this has been a really good lineup for the Flyers. It's their bigger lineup with Santos, with Jack, and with Barea, and with the 2 point guards with Elvis and Bennett out here too.
Thompson able to break pressure. Dayton's largest lead is 7. Reed just highlighted him a few seconds ago, working on Santos inside. 10 to shoot. It's good defense, good kick. Rush, another 3, no.
It's great defensive possession by the Flyers.
The Flyers would give the ball back to Youngstown State as Kobe Elvis was on that in line, standing out of bounds with the rebound.
Shot clock resets to 20 on that, so Youngstown playing with a shortened shot clock right now.
Right now, our officials are just discussing whether it was a change of possession, which would have given Youngstown State the full shot clock. Not the case. Rush, and he was fouled. Kobe Elvis, his 3rd.
And he's doing a great job trying to fight over top of that screen. And you've got to be really tough as you fight over top of a screen. You've got to really lock onto the guy's hip and really kind of beat that screen over the top.
Penguins trying to get off 45. Here's Reed with 10 to shoot. Crossover. Nice up and under. It was blocked by Jack. And the ball off Zorgville.
That's a really good defensive possession. Great job by Jack to kind of guard your yard and then just stay straight up. And then the block was tremendous.
Isaac Jack, 2nd block of the game. Bennett will get a screen from the sophomore from Canada. Santos double teamed. And the ball was knocked out of bounds. Here comes E.J. Farmer out of Cleveland, Ohio. Back in Northeast Ohio after he went to the northwest part of the state. The Toledo Rockets. Dayton 13 to shoot. Kobe Brea bounces it into Jack, and he was fouled.
Way to take advantage of that mismatch on the entry pass. Youngstown kind of got stuck in the switch situation right there, and kudos to the Flyers for throwing the ball right back inside.
Isaac Jack fouled by Lovelace Jr. 4th foul against the Penguins here in half. Kobe Elvis, his shot blocked by Zorgville.
Probably should have just grabbed the ball.
8 to shoot here for Santos, working his way in the lane. He lost it. Youngstown State on the run out. What a strip by Bennett. And who to go off of last? It'll be Youngstown State basketball off the timeout. Dayton by a touchdown. Flyers on top by 7. Tis the season. The Caroline Bell Tower and lit up here for the holidays. Dayton, Ohio, and Uni Arena There isn't a site that's seen more NCAA tournament games. And for the Dayton Flyers, just missed out a year ago. On top by 7 here against Youngstown St, a team that won the regular season in the Horizon League. Looking back to 2022-2023, and they're actually going to start Horizon League play their next time out against Cleveland State. It's going to be a while till the Flyers jump in to the Atlantic 10 Conference. Anthony Grant's squad picked to win it. Youngstown State basketball, as they inbound to John Lovelace Jr. Hasn't really necessarily been able to get it going yet. As we'll be at the foul line. Foul against Kobe Brea. Penguins looking for their first points in close to 2.5 minutes. Meanwhile, for the Flyers, they've gone 2.5 minutes without a field goal. Take a look at the foul on Brea.
Had a lot of free throws this half. Both teams did a great job the first half, really kind of guarding your yard without fouling. And now all of a sudden it seems like both teams are living at the line lately.
Lovelace Jr. came in a 75% free throw shooter. Misses on both. And Patagimas has come on, getting the rebound with the headband for UD. A freshman from Lithuania. Enoch Cheeks will find the freshman. Here's Brea. He'll drive. Kobe Brea, rolls off. Rebound Isaac Shack, trying to work his way back up, and it was stripped, but we got a travel on Zorgville. Daniel Zorgville is called for steps. And being on the ground, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Can't help yourself.
Kobe Brea, he was hot in the first half. Boy, he just couldn't buy one on that trip. Thought he had himself a 2 and a 3, but Dayton comes up empty. Ziggy Reed, nice find. Farmer, his shot was blocked, and Jack, his third. And Isaac's running the other way. So is Brea. And he'll give to Jack. And he was fouled. He'll shoot 2.
And that's great job keeping the ball on the move. It's that shot fake that cleared the lane for the drive. The man stepped up. Defensively, you never step up from the basket. You always have to stay at home because that drop-off's always going to be available.
Kobe Brea, that was an excellent find. And Isaac Jack, this guy, he continues to produce off the bench. And his free throw in and out.
You know, he doesn't show up in the box score. It's never going to stand out to you how exceptional of a game he's played. But between blocks, between just playing great defense, running the court, and available for these drop-offs, he's done everything he can. And he spells Duran these valuable minutes.
Dayton has had a tough time for the line tonight. Flyers now 4 for 10. Came in really solid on the season, shooting free throws at 78%. Rush missed from in close. Long rebound tapped out, and Ziggy Reed able to grab it.
And that shot again altered by Jack. Again, it's those things that may not show up in the box score that he does a really good job of.
10 to shoot here for Thompson. His shot sent away by Brea. Loose ball coming to Dayton, and they got numbers. Jack traveled.
It's hard because you want to play with that pace, and as a point guard, you've just got to understand you can't give it to a big man 40 feet away from the basket. It's just very non-traditional for a big to have it. You just wait, take it, draw that defender, and hit that pocket bounce pass. You had a 4-on-1 break.
Youngstown State, meanwhile, will call timeout from the Dayton pressure. And we press pause. Scoring drought for both squads as we've been on 52-45 for a while. And Dayton Flyers with a 7-point lead. Alex Mikas with Eric Farrell. And for Dayton and Youngstown State, both teams 3-2 on this young season. And for the Flyers, game number 1, Malachi Smith. Picked preseason, second team all-conference after coming off an injury and surgery in the offseason. Just a few minutes into the year, they lose their starting point guard for the season, and just a tough one. And Dayton going to be missing this talented guard from the Bronx.
Taking some pictures there for the adoring fans. That's one thing these Flyer fans do. They love their Flyers, man. It's as good not only atmosphere but a fan base that supports these teams year in, year out, night in, night out.
Knee injury. Now for Malachi, he missed 11 games last season. The Flyers sort of situation in trying to work without him, but it's 8 to shoot here for Thompson. Langdon just 5 on the clock, guarded by Holmes. And Duran with a block. Flyers going to try and get off 52. Eric, it changes, though, a lot of things, especially from a practice standpoint. Here's a kick ball. Now, Malachi not being able to play, obviously, you love what he does in the game, but just in what you do just every day and trying to get better.
Yeah, and it's getting everybody else better. It's simulating those game reps. As deep as the Flyers bench may appear over there, you can't replace maybe Javon Bennett going up against Malachi Smith night in, night out. And so it's really that game-like feel for both Bennett and Kobe Elvis as they run the point.
Oh, that's an excellent move. Holmes, 12 points now in the game as he scores off the square.
And give Duran the ball with both feet in the paint. Dayton Flyers have to like those odds night in and night out.
Ron Holmes the second, doing it on both ends. 12 points, but 4 blocks here on the defensive side. Guarding Burns. Thompson, 5 to shoot. Thompson over Holmes. Wow. Big 3 from Brett Thompson.
Sometimes it's just a tough shot that goes in. And Duran, though, use your length. Again, it's that length as you play with. You've got to switch up and put up a hand and at least deter the shot.
Brea going to try and match him. Going off the back rim. Rebound collected by Rush.
He's a really good player.
Brandon Rush, 14 points, 5 rebounds. Langdon, quick 2. And the Penguins come up empty. Dayton by 6 with just over 8 to play. Elvis with the handle. Kobe Elvis having himself a nice second half. This one rolls off the rim. So Youngstown State gets stopped.
A little too ball dominant right there by Elvis. The ball didn't leave his hands. As soon as he got it back in transition, it never left his hands.
DJ Burns from outside. No. Another rebound by Kobe Brea, and Dayton. Another alley-oop. Cheeks to Holmes.
And what Deron Holmes does time in and time out throughout the course of the game, he's always going to put pressure on the rim. He's constantly running the length of the court. He's now had 3 transition buckets because of that.
Holmes, 6 of 8 now from the field. Dayton by 8. Oh, that's an excellent move to the basket, and Rush getting right to the rim.
Continuing to be the go-to player for the Youngstown State Penguins. Got to look to continue to get him in the flow of the offense.
And that was a much-needed basket. Elvis on the back cut. Santos the score. Luis Santos now 7 points to go along with 11 rebounds.
He's kind of putting together a nice little game, starting 1 for 4 from the field today. He's really started to put together a really nice game.
Langdon, Burns trying to work on Elvis. Switch off. Reed, 3 straight on. Got the roll.
Got the roll. But again, it's in rotation. The Flyers have to do a better job scrambling out of it. The most important person on the court is the one with the ball. He's got to be accounted for. Everybody else, you scramble and you figure it out.
Ziggy Reed, 15 points. Kobe Elvis left all alone. And he misses on the 3.
I think he was shocked he was so wide open.
Thompson trying to take it to Holmes. What a 2. And all of a sudden, a 1-possession game.
And Youngstown State has been able to do it on the defensive side of the ball and then get out in transition.
Thompson, his first start as a Penguin. He's in double figures. 3 YSU players in double digits. Kobe Brea getting him a bird. 1 dribble, pull up, and Kobe Brea knocking in the baseline jumper. And Anthony Grant, a quick timeout. Deron Holmes has been having his day in the paint. But the Penguins from Youngstown State and Brett Thompson hanging in there. Tonight, the Penguins trying to get even, and it was a great start for YSU. Dayton with a nice close in that first half. And honestly, here in the second half, Eric, it's almost felt like Dayton was going to, get a little space on the scoreboard. But credit Youngstown State because they've been able to fight back. And here, 5 minutes, 43 seconds left in our game. And Youngstown State in the game.
Youngstown State is in the game. And what's most surprising about the way this game is played out is they're doing it from the 3-point line. No different in the second half as it was in the first half. 3-point line has been the great for Youngstown State to maintain kind of this right within striking distance.
Dayton plus 10 in the paint, but the Penguins 12 3-pointers on 25 attempts. Here's Ziggy Reed with 10 to shoot, guarded tightly by Santos, and he's able to go glass. A couple of Flyer fans wanted to travel, but it's a 3-point contest. Dayton on top.
Youngstown State back in their their zone where they're just passing off cutters, switching ball screens, but keeping their 2 guys at the top. What was successful for the Flyers last time is get that ball right to that logo area and then be able to spray the ball around to this weak side.
Bennett had it knocked away, got it back, spun, and kisses it off the window.
Do you think he planned that?
Javon Bennett, now 10 points. He's the 4th Flyer in double figures. DJ Burns way out. Rebound, Ziggy Reed going up high. Langdon wants a 3, and it's no good. And a power rebound there by Isaac Jack. And I think they're going to call him on the foul. Jack saying that he was held. And it's going to be Isaac's 2nd.
And both teams, you know, you're 4 minutes. You're in that last medium timeout, and everything's on the line. You got to be scrappy to score points, and you see Youngstown State's effort on the glass down here as well. Every possession has to be critically important.
Boy, that is a sweet move from Javon Bennett. I'm going to say, Eric, it was not planned.
We got confirmation.
Ziggy Reed banging with Santos. And they're going to call him on a travel. I thought it was going to be an offensive foul, but instead, moving the puppies.
And here's the Flyers' ability. Can they get this 5-point lead that they just kind of can get it to 7, then can get a stop and can get it to 9. Youngstown State staying in this zone defense right now.
Santos. This is Kobe Brea. Brea 11 points off the bench. Give him 13.
Give him 13. And the best thing to do against that zone, ball screen it, will make sure that ball touches the logo at some point.
Came into the game averaging 9. Kobe Brea can fill it up. He is an offensive player. Inside 4 minutes here, and Dayton back up by 7. Youngstown State had a double-digit lead in that first half. Flyers have yet to get double digits on the Penguins. Rush missed it, and Isaac Jack once again in the way. Elvis, penetration, missed it. Jack, put back. It rolls off, but it'll be at the line. As Dayton doing it on both ends. Isaac Jack. Come back for the finish. Javon Bennett, spin and score. Penguins and Flyers. Kobe Brea. Fun game here from Dayton.
Do you know your rights if you've been injured in a rideshare accident? Whether you're a passenger or a driver, if you've been injured in or by a rideshare, you have rights. Seek medical treatment for your injuries. Get the police involved, and lastly, don't go it alone. Call us at Elk & Elk. We'll protect your rights and negotiate the maximum compensation for your injuries. Thanks for the ride.
It's been a great ride, hasn't it?
What do you think? 5 stars for that guy?
Dayton on top by 7, 64-57, and the bench has been huge for Anthony Grant's squad. 17 points for Dayton, 4 for Youngstown State, and it comes from two guys. Kobe Brea with 13, and this guy at the line, Isaac Jack, who now has 5 with the made free throw.
And what he's done a good job, yes, scoring, rebounding, putting pressure on the rim in transition, but also defensively. Doesn't matter how many blocks he has, he's altered a lot of shots at the rim as well.
So Isaac Jack, 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 blocks. And he gets some love as he steps out on the floor, steps off the floor, and coming back on, Deron Holmes the second. Dayton gets this W. They will look towards their bench. Long pass, Langdon able to catch it. And he'll go right to the hoop and score it.
Yeah, the one thing, as you apply pressure defense, one thing you can't do is let anybody get behind you. And that's a critical mistake that Bennett made right there.
And here we got a deflection. Brandon Rush in the passing lane.
A lot of fighting these Youngstown State Penguins.
Again, 24-10 last year, Horizon League champs, but 12 newcomers, 7 of them being transfers. Nate Santos just put his head down right there.
Bully ball. It looks like he got scratched on the neck.
He's been working hard.
He has been
on the glass. This guy, you know, A-10 player of the week, and he was just so hot in Charleston, South Carolina. Tonight, 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. And he's just been working his way. It's kind of like that. He's got the hard hat on for that double-double.
He does. 11 rebounds. But, you know, it's what we talked about at the Open. You know, you have this great performance in Charleston, and then all of a sudden you come back. Hey, man, you're on film. And so defenses now have to key in on you, and everybody else has to find a way to get involved in the game.
Got a whistle and a block. And that'll be 1-1 here for Brett Thompson. Foul going against Kobe Brea. It'll be, you know, for Dayton, if there is sort of a concern on the night, Eric, it's right here at the foul line. The Penguins 5 of 8, 62%. Thompson, big 1-1, knocks in the first, will get the bonus. Dayton 7 of 14 from the stripe.
That's not going to cut it. And now when we're talking about free throws, you know, you've got this lead. The last thing you want to do is put Youngstown State on the line with the clock stopped. Right now, the clock is your friend. You've got to draw this game, you know, shorten up the possessions.
Kobe Brea, another rebound. Yes, he's got a new season high in the rebounding category with 7. Here's Deron Holmes leading the Flyers. And this is going to be a foul on DJ Burns. And that's it. That's it for DJ. He is fouled out of this game. Burns came in averaging over 11 points, 9 rebounds. Was unable to score it here this evening as he ends on a goose egg, but was able to contribute with 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but now 5 fouls.
Yeah, and now Youngstown State has to go to their bench again. And Zorgval has 4 fouls. So look for the Flyers to go back to the same recipe they just had. Throw the ball into Holmes, let Holmes work one-on-one the next time down the court.
Now a big 1-1 for Deron Holmes the second, who is 2 for 6 tonight from the free throw line. And he knocks it in.
And let's see what Dayton does here. Do they come back down with pressure? Last time they came down with pressure out of an after a free throw. Let's see if they do the same.
Holmes long there. 8-point difference. 2.5 minutes left here. Sidney Reed, checked by Holmes to Langdon. Head fake. Got the defender in the air, left it short. Rebound, Holmes, and here's Elvis going the other way. Finds Santos. And Dayton using some clock.
And that is Zorgval's ability to run the length of the court and alter that shot from Kobe Elvis. Great job by Elvis to push it back outside, though.
Kobe Elvis, he didn't want 2, he wanted 3, and he missed it, and long rebound comes out to the Penguins. Thompson looking to drive, finds Reed, big 3, off the mark. Would have made it a 5-point game.
And those are the kind of shots that, as Coach Grant and the staff go back to. Yes, it's a miss. Thankfully, it was a miss for the Flyers. But it's a wide open transition 3. The Flyers have to clean up these open transition 3s.
92 seconds left, and Coach Grant wants to call timeout. Dayton, after this game, going to be meeting up with SMU down in Dallas for a Wednesday night, and they're hoping to do it with a 4-2 record. Meanwhile, for Youngstown State, highlighted it earlier, the Penguins will be at home at Bigley Center for Wednesday as they start Horizon League play against Cleveland State. 6:30. They're supposed to finish 5th in the league. Coming off a record season, there's 24 wins, Division I. I think Jared Calhoun, he's got to be thrilled with what he's seen here tonight, win or lose.
And, you know, as we've watched this game unfold, they've got tremendous talent out there. So when you say they're picked to finish 5th in the Horizon, that's just because they're incorporating so many new faces that I don't think the coaches or the media even knew who they had. But between Rush, between Burns, and between Reed, this is going to be a formidable foe in the Horizon League.
68-60. And Dayton still looking for that double-digit lead. The largest lead tonight is 9. And we got a whistle. I thought it might have been a 5-second call, but instead it's a foul on Zorgval, and he's gone. So he is fouled out. And it'll be Deron Holmes back at the line. Let's see here. That bicep. Deron Holmes there. That left hand up high.
And Deron does a lot of good things. And one of the things that I think is underappreciated with what Deron Holmes does is he gets the other team into serious foul trouble. Tonight he has fouled out two of Youngstown State's players. But on the season, you know, Ken Palm does these stats for all you stat nerds out there, that he draws 7 fouls a game, and that's top 60 in the country.
Well, and tonight he's at 9, so that's only climbing.
Yeah.
And I think what the Flyers splits the pair there. This would be a little bit of a different game. The Flyers made a few more free throws. Penguins down by 9. Thompson, a big basket, and a timeout by Jared Calhoun. And with 1:19 left, Penguins going to talk things over, down by 7.
Yeah, Alex, to your point, the free throw line has kind of been that one sore spot for the Flyers tonight. 9 of 18 from the charity stripe. You know, if you make 75% of your shots, this lead has stretched out. But because you're the inability to make your free throws, you know, Youngstown State's still within striking distance with 1:19 to go.
Saw the jumper there on the replay from Brett Thompson. He got his first start tonight in a Penguins jersey, and he's answered. New career high for YSU. Is currently at 14. Now, his time at Tennessee Tech, he was able to put in 28. And he highlighted the transfers. Obviously, Brandon Rush back from last year's squad and that trip to the NIT. And without question, I think their best player. But in the likes of Burns, what we've talked about with Ziggy Reed and what he brings, and then Thompson in the mix, this is a group, his first couple of games, they're still trying to figure things out and just playing with each other.
But you can see you can see this team beginning to gel a little bit. They're beginning to identify their roles. You know, coming into the game, we were the ones that spotlighted Burns, and yet Reed and Rush have been their best players. So it's a team that's going to continue to evolve. But again, facing the Horizon League opponents, the Penguins are going to be right there come March.
Well, and they're still in this contest. Dayton off the timeout. Got to take care of the basketball and knock in free throws, something Dayton has not done well here tonight.
And the Flyers with the timeout in case there's too much pressure. Not needed.
Santos able to break that pressure. Here's Elvis wide open. Brea. 2 hands on that rim, and Kobe Brea now 15 points in the game.
Yeah, Kobe's put together a really, really good game. The 15 points, but what he was able to do from the three-point line today, 3 of 8 from the line, he was invaluable for the Flyers.
That was textbook and breaking pressure from UD. Farmer finds Langdon, 3-pointer. Good. And here we got a whistle and a foul. Holmes, the other end. It's a 10th team foul against YSU, so it will be a double bonus here for Deron Holmes II.
And although Deron is, you can see Youngstown State's bench, they're asking to foul Deron Holmes. But because of his inability to make free throws today, he's 4 of 10. He's the right guy to put on the line today.
Langdon on the 3-pointer now, 14 points, 3 of 5 from distance. And the Penguins came in shooting 28% from 3. Tonight they are 44%, and Dayton 9 of 19 from the foul line.
Yeah, and at some point this becomes mental. He's a good free throw shooter. He's just got to get up there, do your routine, do your rhythm, and just have a pure stroke right here. But the inability continues to be a 2-possession game.
There you see it on the screen. Free throws for Deron Holmes II. It's been tough. And another miss. 4 of 12. And a 6-point game. Youngstown State, they got to go.
Got to go. No timeouts yet for the Penguins.
Good defense by Bennett. And the turnaround jumper, it's no good. Santos was fouled on the rebound. And that'll be against John Lovelace Jr. And double bonus time for Nate Santos.
And unfortunately for the Penguins, that play just took too long to develop, that they didn't have the ability to get a 3 off there, and you burn 11, 12 seconds on the clock, and now you put a really good free throw shooter at the line shooting 2.
Santos going to try to change things for Dayton here as he knocks in the first. 10 of 21 on the Flyers. Nate Santos with this free throw. A double-double. 10 points and 13 rebounds. And he makes it an 8-point game. Thompson. Shot clock and game clock almost linked up. Trying to shake Holmes with him step for step. Drops off to Lovelace. And he's able to score over the all-defensive team. And Deron Holmes II. Quick foul here on Kobe Elvis. And we'll go to the other end. And it looks like Dayton. Free throw here really put this game on ice.
Yep, and you've got the right guy at the line with Kobe Elvis. Although he's yet to take him today, he was really feeling it early on. He made those 3 threes right in a row, was really in a good rhythm. 13 points today. He's played a tremendous game. Actually, all the guards for the Flyers have played a tremendous game today.
Kobe Elvis able to get that roll in a 3-possession contest. And Kobe, new season high, 14 points. And looking for 15.
And you've got 5 Flyers in double figures. You can spotlight Holmes, you can spotlight Santos, but at the end of the day, the Flyers have shown the ability that you got to guard all 5 guys on the court in order to have a fighting chance against this team.
Rush trying to get to the hoop, and he's got 18 points and cuts the deficit to 6, but it looks like the Flyers are going to be making their way to Dallas with a W, as we'll get some more free throws here for Deron Holmes. And Eric, for Dayton, a big road game coming up next week.
At SMU, another true road test. And those games, road games, pay dividends come conference season. This conference, Atlantic 10 looks to be similar as it has in the past, with really, really good quality teams at the top. And then any given night, any team can win. So your ability to kind of regroup, great Charleston kind of hung in there with a scrappy Youngstown State team. It's a business trip down to Dallas this week, and you've got to come away with a win.
Ron Holmes is second now, 17 points. Dayton came up empty just outside of Chicago against Northwestern on the road. Of course, that was a really good team out of the Big Ten that finished second last year in the conference. See what they're able to do down in the Lone Star State. Thompson at the horn. It's off the mark, and Dayton wins.